Yo, what's good everyone? Thank you for tuning in to today's video. Just like any half decent release, I actually decided to take the first week of August off. But we're back again today with a brand new video, and we are going to be taking a look at my top 10 upcoming sneakers for the month of August. Now, before we dive into the video itself, I want to give a massive shout out to all of my returning subscribers. Thanks to you guys, we've just smashed 1,700 subscribers for the channel. Absolutely incredible. Can't thank you guys enough for all of the support. On the flip side of that, if you are new around here and it's the first time you're seeing any of my videos, welcome to the channel. On this channel, we do release brand new sneaker content just like this each and every week. So if you haven't already, please feel free to smash that subscribe button. Also, do make sure the bell notification is switched on so you never miss a video. If you do want to enjoy this video, please give this video a massive thumbs up, which is always truly appreciated. And if you do want to reach out to me outside of YouTube, you will be able to find me on Instagram under ACS Sneakers. So now we've got all those formalities out of the way, let's go ahead and get straight into the video. So just quickly before we go ahead and actually dive into the video itself, I want to let you guys know that all this information does come courtesy from the Source Supplier's website. Now we'll leave a link in my description area below to the Source Supplier, as well as a link to each individual release, just in case you want to check them out in any more detail. Now, as we all know, when it comes to sneaker releases, they can change at any given time for any given reason. So release dates can be brought forward, pushed back, or completely delayed without any real warning or any real sign. So do take this information with a pinch of salt. All the information that we're going to talk about today is correct as of today's date, which is the 6th of August. But with all that said and all this waffling aside, let's go ahead and jump straight into the list. So kicking us off on this list today, we have the Nike Dunk Low Scrap in the Sea Glass colourway. Now this is scheduled to be releasing on the 12th of August for a retail price of £100, and releasing the same day there is also another colourway, which I believe is called like the Archeo Brown colourway. Now, the very first time I saw either of these two shoes was in a review by Life of a Broski. I also saw it in another review by Scopes as well. Two amazing channels. So if you do want to watch any of their reviews, I will make sure to leave a link in my description area below. Would I actually keep these shoes in my personal collection? I'm not entirely sure. I'm definitely going for them for a review at least, just to kind of see what those materials are like. It's kind of like a mix and match vibe throughout the shoe. The materials seem pretty interesting as well. Certain things I do like about the release, and there are certain things I don't like, but I kind of feel like it's one of them shoes that when you actually see it in person, it's going to look either a lot better or a lot worse. So it is definitely a shoe that I'm really interested to see in person. When it comes to resale, I'm not entirely sure how well it's going to do. It doesn't seem like it's being received that well by the community. There isn't too many people talking about it. There's not that much of a hype surrounding the drop. Do I think it will sell out? Absolutely, like all Dunk Lows do. Do I think they'll be retailing for a lot? I don't really think so. I think this is actually a shoe that will be sitting right around that retail price point. Maybe 30 to 40 to £50 more. But I really can't see it going for much more than that. I do also think there's actually going to be a pretty decent amount of pairs going. With that said, I would still enter raffles if you really do want this shoe for your own personal collection. But I would definitely err on the side of caution. I wouldn't be going crazy, entering every single raffle possible. Because this is one of those shoes where if you really actually want this shoe, I do think you will be able to get it. And next up on our list, we actually have a shoe for the ladies. This time it is the Air Jordan 1 in the Seafoam Orange colourway. Now this is also going to be releasing on the 12th of August. But this time it'll be releasing for a retail price of £145. Now when it actually comes to women's exclusive releases, as we probably all know by now, it is going to be releasing in limited sizing. So any of you fellas out there with size 10 and above feet, it's probably highly unlikely that you'll even be able to try and get a pair in your size, unfortunately. But for people like me that are size 9 and under, we still have every opportunity to try and get this shoe. Am I going for this for the personal collection? Probably not. Would I get this shoe for a review? Absolutely. If this shoe is going to be available and I can actually get a shoe and actually review it for you guys, absolutely I'm going to try and do that. I'm not entirely sold on the colourway. I think it is a really nice colourway, and I think, especially given the time of year, it's releasing at the absolutely most perfect time. But to be quite honest, it's quite forgettable, and it's not necessarily a colourway that I think a lot of people are really going to be drawn to. Like all Jordan 1s, I do expect that it is going to sell out. When it comes to resale, I'm not entirely sure how well it's going to do. When it comes to these women's releases, it really goes one of two ways. It either goes crazy in price or it sits just above retail for quite a while, kind of like the Court Purple Jordan ones. You know, even to this day, certain places you can still get them for retail, and even resale like StockX and GOAT, it's still readily available and still pretty affordable. But for you ladies, given that this is a women's exclusive release, hopefully you are able to get your pair, and good luck to everybody that's entering. And next up, we do actually have a shoe that's definitely up there for contender for shoe of the year. We have the Travis Scott Fragment Air Jordan 1 Lows. Now this is scheduled to be releasing on the 13th of August for a retail price of £145. This shoe in itself is definitely worth a whole 10-minute video. Whether you get the shoe or not, whether you're just interested in sneakers in general, I think a lot of people will definitely agree, and the kind of like the general consensus is, this is one of those anomalies where the lows are better than the highs. When it came to the highs release, as a lot of you guys will probably know by now, it was a complete from start to finish.
You're goddamn right.
The amount of people that were bought in, the amount of, you know, limited stock there was, it was just a complete let's be honest. It was complete madness, and I do expect that this shoe, although it probably will have a little bit more stock, it's going to be another madness as well to try and get this shoe for your own personal collections. Do I see a lot of people actually managing to cop? Definitely not. Do I see myself copping? Absolutely not.
P.S says no.
But for me, if I had to choose between the highs and the lows, I would definitely be choosing the lows on this occasion. This isn't me being salty. I really generally don't care that much about, you know, Travis Scott Jordan 1s, Fragment Jordan 1s. I'm just not a Jordan 1 guy. So it really plays no part in my decision. I just think in general, for wearability and just overall how good the shoe is, as far as the pictures go, the lows are definitely better than the highs. I'll take either one, to be completely honest, but at this point, it's kind of like a foregone conclusion that the majority of us are going to be holding that L. So moving on to the next shoe on the list, which is definitely going to be a lot more obtainable than the last shoe that we just took a look at. Now, according to the source supplier, we are going to be getting the Air Jordan 13 Obsidian on the 14th of August. Now, this will be releasing for a retail price of £170. For me, the release date seems a little bit sketchy. I've not heard anything about the drop, so do take that date with a pinch of salt. I do think it will likely be pushed back either towards the end of August or maybe even into September. But if the information is correct and it is releasing on the 14th, this is 110% a must-cop shoe for me. If you know me, you know how much a big fan of the Jordan 13 I am. I think they're incredibly comfortable. You can wear them wherever, with whatever. And especially in a colorway like this, it's just super clean, super versatile. And the shoes are always really well made. So if you're looking for a really well put together pair of Jordans, look no further than the Jordan 13. Whenever you do slap that Obsidian name on it as well, you know it's going to sell out. So I think this will definitely be one of those pairs of 13s that does instantly sell out. I don't think it's going to do that well for resale. I don't see this being a shoe that's going to cost crazy amounts. But I do think that the people that do really want it will be able to get it. Hopefully that includes myself. So moving on to the next shoe on the list, we do actually have a little bit of a switch up, as we have the Nike Air Max 95 Japan, scheduled to be releasing on the 16th of August for a rumoured retail price of £180. Now I do want to stress that that price is rumoured. I don't believe it is confirmed, because as a lot of you guys will probably know, £180 for an Air Max 95 just seems incredibly high. Even when those Kim Jones 95s came out, they was about 180, 190. Those shoes sat and are still sitting at most places because of the fact that it's an Air Max 95. It's definitely never going to be worth nearly £200. So I don't know if this shoe will be releasing at that price point. If it is, it's getting a hard pass from me. If it comes in at the regular retail price point, absolutely, this is definitely a shoe that I'm interested in. Looking at the pre-release images, the quality of the shoe looks fantastic. The colorway is super clean. Great shoe for summertime. So with that in mind, if it's coming in at the normal retail price point, it is probably a shoe that I will be adding into my own personal collection. A lot of the shoes that we have taken a look at on this list for this month, for the most part, are probably going to be, not obtainable. A lot of the shoes that we'll take a look at for the rest of the video are probably going to be the same. And I feel like for the most part, this is probably going to be one of the only shoes that I am actually going to be able to get my hands on. So I kind of feel like I'm a little bit biased towards it, because this is probably what I'm going to end up with. But with that said, you know, I'm a huge fan of the 95. If you haven't seen my most recent review, we did just review the Air Max 95 Greedy 3.0s. If you do want to check that out, I will make sure to leave a link above in the cards. So considering how slow August was to actually get going, as we move throughout the month, we're having some absolutely incredible releases. Now, the next shoe up on our list is actually another three-way collab. This time it's between Fragment, Nike and Sakai for the LD Waffle. Now, this will be releasing in two different colorways, including the grey and white alongside the navy black, and it will be releasing on the 19th of August for a retail price of £170. I'm going to be honest, this shoe is kind of coming in out of left field for me. I had no idea about this shoe. I didn't even know it was releasing. I didn't even know it was rumoured. And I had no idea about this shoe until I checked the Soul Supplier's website. To be completely honest, the shoe is fire. Both the grey and white, navy black, either one, if I can get it, I'll be absolutely gassed. You know, when it comes to the Vapor Waffles, I was never really a massive fan. As far as I'm concerned, these definitely look a lot better. The shoes themselves look a lot more wearable. The colorways are super clean. Wear them all year round, especially that navy black colorway. And I just think in general, I'd really love to actually try one of these shoes out for myself. I also think it would be a really great review for the channel. So fingers crossed I am able to get my hands on either pair or hopefully even both. But with that said, the fact that, you know, this is a three-way collab, the fact that these colorways are super clean and super wearable, I think the demand is definitely going to outweigh the supply. And I do actually believe that this shoe is going to be incredibly difficult to get our hands on. So with that in mind, definitely this shoe is 100 million% going to sell out. I think the resale prices are going to be quite high as well. And I do think a lot of people are definitely going to be going all out to try and get this shoe. I do expect that it will be releasing in the exact same vein as most of the shoes on this list, so I do think it'll be releasing via Raffle, and I do think it will also be available via the Sneakers app as well. So moving on to the next shoe up on our list, which is also another women's exclusive release, and like a lot of shoes up on this list as well, it is also another collab as well. This time it's between Allele and Jordan Brand for the Air Jordan 14 Low Light Sand colorway. Now, this is scheduled to be releasing on August 19th for a rumoured retail price of £190. To be honest, I thought this shoe was going to be a friends and family only exclusive, but apparently we are actually going to be getting a wider release, which I'm definitely all for. I think she smashed this collab like she smashes most of her collabs with Jordan Brand. There's been a couple of shoes that have been a little bit iffy, I'm going to be honest. I'm not the biggest Allele fan, but this one, I'd have to say, is probably the best of the bunch, her best work to date. And there's just something about this shoe that I just absolutely love. Whether or not I'm able to get this shoe for my own personal collection remains to be seen. After I got my first pair of Air Jordan 14s earlier this year with the clots, they definitely have started to pique my interest. I definitely like them a lot more than I used to. And there's just something about this one, it's calling out to me. The shoe itself just looks straight fire. It's another one of those shoes that I feel like is releasing at the exact right time of year. We are supposed to be in summer, even though it's like monsoon weather out there at the minute. It is still a super clean, super versatile shoe for any summer rotation. So I do think a lot of people are going to be really interested in it. The fact that it is a 14 though probably means that this shoe isn't necessarily going to resell for that much more than retail. But I can actually see this shoe selling out, to be completely honest. Now, according to what I've read, this should be available via Raffle, and it should also be available via Sneakers app as well. So this is another one of those shoes. I'd highly recommend keeping an eye on the Soul Supplier's website, because when the raffles do become available, this is definitely a shoe that you don't want to sleep on. So just to kind of keep it in theme with the rest of the video, the next shoe up on our list is once again another collab. This time it's between Undefeated and Nike on the Nike Dunk Low versus Air Force 1. Now this is scheduled to be releasing on the 20th of August for a retail price of £110. Once again, it's another one of those shoes that I really had no inkling about before actually going onto the Soul Supplier's website. There hasn't been too much talk about it. Doesn't seem to be that much hype about it either. But to be honest, throughout August, even though there's been a couple of shoes already releasing, I think I've seen quite a few pairs of Undefeateds just floating around. So I'm not sure maybe if people are focusing on the first couple of Undefeated Nike collabs that have released this month over this one, and maybe they'll get to it later on in the month. But it's a super clean shoe, kind of gives me Stussy vibes in a way as well. So I think maybe more people will start to gravitate towards it closer to release day. This is probably going to be a shoe that sells out like everything else on this list. Whether or not I actually want this shoe for the personal collection kind of remains to be seen, to be completely honest. I'm not sure if it is actually a shoe I really do want or even really do need. So this is definitely a shoe that I'm going to be going for a review at least, and I do expect that it will be releasing via Raffle, as well as on the Sneakers app, and it probably will also be available on the Undefeated app as well. So the next shoe up on our list is actually a shoe that I kind of thought had already released. Now it is the Air Jordan 1 Pollen, scheduled to be releasing on August 21st for a retail price of £140. The reason I thought this shoe had already released is because I've just seen incredible amounts of Instagram posts, Twitter posts, Facebook posts, YouTube videos. This shoe is literally everywhere. You cannot escape this shoe. And for me, I thought this shoe had already released. I'd missed the drop and I was moving on. I'm not sure how I feel about it. After watching some of these reviews, a lot of people are saying it's really good. A lot of people are saying it's alright. A lot of people are saying it's a bit meh. I think it really comes down to you and your own personal preferences. So it definitely seems like it's a mixed bag. The majority of the reviews that I've seen though, they're saying that the leather quality is very good and it's a lot better than your standard Jordan 1. So if that is actually the case, that's a massive win. The colourway, super clean, gives you that Wu-Tang vibe, very similar to the Varsity Maze Dunks. But I don't really see it going the same way as the Varsity Maze Dunks, because at the end of the day, it is a Jordan 1. It is absolutely going to sell out. Will it resell for crazy amounts? Probably not, it would be what I would say. I do think that this will probably get to around that £200 mark, but I don't really see it going much more over that. It's honestly not the most wearable colourway. It's pretty good, it's pretty decent, but it's not a shoe that I personally need for my own collection, so I'm probably going to be passing up on this one. It's probably not even worth a review at this point either, just because of how many reviews are already out. So whether or not I go for this shoe remains to be seen, which is really rare when it comes to my list. Anytime I put a shoe in this list, I try and go for it. This might be a shoe that I'm actually going to pass up on, but I do think that like all other shoes on this list, it will be available via Raffle and it will also be on Sneakers app as well. So here we are, we've reached number 10 for this list. We have the Air Jordan 4 Lightning, scheduled to be released on August 28th for a retail price of £170. Now, unlike the Pollens, this is a shoe that I 100% am going for. When it comes to the Jordan 4, I'm honestly not the biggest fan. I don't really find them very comfortable, and there's only a few colorways that I feel like I really would want in my own personal collection. That's the Breads. The Uni Blue 4s have really grown on me. I also really want the Cool Grey 4s, the Union 4s, and the Lightning 4s. So this is definitely a shoe that I want for my own personal collection, absolutely. The colorway, straight fire, and it's just one of those shoes that I think every man and the dog is actually going to want, so kind of goes without saying at this point. Very much a polar opposite to the Pollens, where I feel like I can just let them go. If this one passes me by, I think I would actually be quite disappointed. The shoe looks absolutely fire. I've seen an early review on a good friend of mine's channel, so if you want to see that, this is another link that I will be leaving in my description area below. So huge shout out to James for actually getting the shoe early so we can get a good up close look at the shoe itself. Like I said, it's just one of them shoes. There's no way anyone's actually going to pass these up. This is definitely going to be a shoe that sells out. It's definitely going to be a shoe that I think everybody's actually going to be going for. And like all the other shoes on this list, it should be available via Raffle, and it will also be on Sneakers app as well. If you don't manage to hit full retail, the resale price point I should say, especially on Go and StockX, I do see it being, you know, upwards of 250, maybe even just below 300. So this is a shoe that I would recommend doing all your footwork early, because it's better to try and do everything you can before paying resale. Because honestly, if I don't hit the retail, there's no way I'm going anywhere near them. So fingers crossed I am able to get my pair. But with that said and done, we've just about come towards the end of this video. I'd love to get your guys' opinions as well, so do make sure to leave me a comment in the comment section below and let me know what you guys are looking forward to the most. Also, if you have stuck around to this point in the video, I do want to say a massive thank you. Please feel free to smash that subscribe button if you haven't already. Also, do make sure the bell notification is switched on so you never miss a video. And I hope to see you all again in the next one.